Sarah, thank you. Joining us now is retired United States Army Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, a highly decorated combat veteran who now works as a military expert for the think tank Defense Priorities. Thank you, sir, for taking the time to be with us. We have often heard throughout this war Prime Minister Netanyahu say it is not over until Hamas is eliminated. What does that look like?
Well, honestly, as I've been saying, I think on your network since the beginning of this, this is not going to end with the destruction of Hamas, as the Prime Minister puts it, because Hamas is more of an idea and a resistance. And the more that they continue to kill so many innocent women and children and men and destroy the ability to even sustain life within the Gaza Strip, they're just going to increase that resistance, because that's the purpose and the reason why these people rose up against them in the first place. And without addressing those concerns, the war is just going to continue on. And I fear that the opposite is going to happen, is what some in the West want, is that with the death of Sinwar, especially how it happened, because in their eyes, he wasn't hiding in some cave like a rat, like it was called, but that he was actually fighting above ground. And that's going to, I think, become more of a martyr type figure that more will want to emulate to fight forward. So it could actually have a negative outcome.
A ceasefire in this conflict has been long elusive. Does Sinwar's death change that at all?
No, in fact, I think that makes a ceasefire even less likely now, because the successor leader is going to be faced with, well, do you literally submit to the power that just destroyed the leader, or do you continue on the struggle and redouble it? And to have a ceasefire now, especially on any terms that Israel wants, it would be viewed by the people as this capitulation to Israel. And I think that they will be aware of that, and the optics. We talk about optics here, but they also care about optics. And I think that would be bad for them. So I think that they will try to show their even greater difficulties in getting a ceasefire. I know that's what the West wants, but I fear that it's going to be more difficult now than it was.
On those same lines, do you anticipate retaliation from Hamas?
Well, I mean, what further could they do than they're already doing? I just think that they're going to continue on with what they've been doing. I don't know that they have the capacity to escalate beyond what they're doing. I just think that they're going to continue the resistance as they have been.
What is Hamas's capabilities today compared to prior to October 7th?
Well, without question, it has just been slashed unbelievably. I mean, you have however many civilians have been killed. We know for sure that there has been thousands upon thousands of Hamas from the militant wing that has, that rose up initially. It has been destroyed and very deeply harmed, and their capacity throughout has been, just whittled down to nearly nothing. So now it's sticks and rocks, and they still have some ability to fire rockets here and there, but it's just token amounts. They still have supplies, which they had in the years prior, to continue waging war with ammunition, bullets, etc. Some anti-tank weapons that they can fire, but it's just kind of almost like the Taliban in the height of the U.S. military surge there. They didn't have a lot of capacity on a conventional level to go after us, but they had enough stuff where they could continue resisting, and that's about the best I can see them doing right now.
And for our viewers, this just into our newsroom just moments ago, a top Hamas official has confirmed the death of Yahya Sinwar. Up until now, we had just been going off of Israel's confirmation, so that is a done deal as far as the news goes. Lieutenant Colonel Davis, this all coming at a time when the humanitarian crisis in Gaza is only deepening. A UN assessment finding more than 1.8 million Palestinians are experiencing extremely critical levels of hunger. The Biden administration has sent a warning to Israel to improve access to that humanitarian aid, threatening to withhold military assistance if it does not. What do you make of how President Biden is handling this volatile situation?
Well, I mean, you can't talk about anything that has to do with a diplomatic or political situation without looking at the election that's, just a couple, 2 or 3 weeks away. And if he does what he said, to withhold anything at all from Israel, there will be a huge backlash against some segment of the Democratic voter bloc, which is what he has to have to go forward. And, the truth is, he's probably not going to do anything before the election. Even if he does anything afterwards, that remains to be seen. But it is a real issue that there's that many people starving, and there are things he could do. We do have leverage, but it doesn't look like he's going to be willing to use any of it.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, always appreciate your insight, sir.
Thank you.
Alexa.